I'm sorry, that's such a jam. I jam out to MJF's theme every time we do this intro. So what's going on, guys? I appreciate those of you hanging out, waiting for the stream to start. Hour later than typical, just did a Zoom call for George Atkinson's Patreon with me, George, and Chris. So any of you that are in his Patreon gang, you'll get to see that very, very soon. That was a great conversation. That's why I changed. So those of you that saw the Savage EDP Sin of the Day short, you'll notice that I'm not wearing the same thing, which, speaking of, Sauvage Eau de Parfum. I don't care who doesn't like it. I sure like it. It's spicy shower gel, basically. Good stuff. Still a great fragrance. I don't care what anybody says. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say, for those of you watching the replay, make sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can take part in these live chats when we do them in the future. So let's see who's doing what in the chat on your way in, guys. If you don't mind, hit that thumbs up. I see we're starting to get a decent crowd, quick, fast, and in a hurry. So I have to say, I knew of one fragrance coming. Shout outs to John Carlo Burton. You guys will know that name from the live chat. He's a channel member. He's a longtime subscriber. He's very active in the live chats. If he's not here yet, I'm sure he will be shortly. He had reached out to me after I had tried Coral Fantasy with Dedrick and Randy in that live stream. And he's like, hey, man, I'd love to send you a bottle of Coral Fantasy. I got an extra bottle. I want to send it your way. You know what the hell? He had won one of the member giveaways recently. I said, just send it to the return address on there. Well, he went above and beyond. Joop Homme Eau de Parfum and Calvin Klein Euphoria Pure Gold. Two hard-to-find fragrances. On top of Coral Fantasy not being the easiest thing to get a hold of. I mean, it's out there. But, yeah, I was floored. I was not expecting 3 bottles now. Not decants. So we're going to jump into that here in just a minute. We'll wait till about 10 minutes like we usually do. Give everybody an opportunity to get here that wants to get here. So let's go ahead and catch up with the chat. Adam, what's going on? Love the vlog. Yeah, I don't anticipate getting a ton of views because, I mean, it's not like it's some fragrance topic with some highly searchable thing, but it was a great piece of content. I've been itching to put it out. So, yeah, it was a good time because it wasn't really a touristy trip. I tried to get as much tourism stuff in as I could, but it was more of behind the scenes of what was going on through the couple of days that we were there. But glad you enjoyed it. Back in the 80s here in Fort Worth, so Macinda Days Versace Mano Fresh had a day. Dodgers Tropical Floral Golfer. It's funny that you say that. I have that one. It's in the closet. I have that exact golfer. I have the Athletics one too. Yes, I do have more than just local teams. I tend to support my wife's teams. Dan, not the man on YouTube. Hope we can win. Well, wearing Orem. Hell yeah, Joel. Good to see you. Elborn, I saw your post earlier. Zerjoff 40 knots, sampled it, loved it. So picked up a 50 ml from Fragrance Buy sale. Beautiful presentation. My last package from Fragrance Buy came in. So I guess the FedEx driver couldn't get in touch with us to open the gate because there was an attempt to deliver Saturday for my last package. And I guess they didn't try again on Sunday. So today my package came in. It was supposed to come in Saturday. So I've got a lot of fragrances. I'm going to split into like 2 hauls, maybe even 3. I got a lot of fragrances that came in. Plus that pile that's right there of stuff that keeps getting bigger. Plus, I didn't open that package yet. And that package has like 6 fragrances in it or something like that. So, yeah, I totally get it from the Frag Buy sale. Joop Parfum. This will be interesting. That's funny that you say that. I have it here for reference. Joop Homme Le Parfum, which I don't know if the EDP is going to be better than, but that's the one to beat. Le Parfum that's the one. Coral Fantasy is at my Sephora. Grabbed the Born in Roma Intense a couple weeks ago. Definitely my favorite of the line. Paul is wearing First Instinct Extreme, I think is what you meant. But yeah, that's a really, really good one. Rochas Man Intense. That's in the pile back there. Speaking of John Carlo, the man for the reason of this live stream. Good to see you, my friend. Greetings, everyone. Joel Pahaya, JCB. Joel, get hyped. Okay, let's see. It's in the day, L'Aventure Intense around Harrowmine. Givenchy Play Intense. That's another discontinued gem. I've never tried it. I've heard great things, though. Body Out Oud Honor and Glory is literally right there. Good stuff. Coach Platinum for Ethan. Went with the Copeland Special. Oh, so that's the new Copeland Special, because I've always called John Barbados Vintage the Copeland Special. It's funny that you say that. But Fougère d'Argent, that has been kind of his love affair fragrance as of late. Joop is strong, last all day. All of them, most of them anyways. Most of them are like that. Okay, there we go. So we have a jerk here that's trying to be funny. That's cute. So apparently that's their thing now, is spicy, not too spicy. So thanks for coming. Appreciate you waiting 2 weeks. All right. So continue to watch, though. I mean, some of your buddies are still watching, even though they can't comment. So good to see you. What's up in the chat? What's up, Ross? Scent of the day is what he meant. Isola Blue, phenomenal fragrance. Deciding to give it another wear for my sample. It's starting to speak a lot more to me now lately. Good to see you, Noel. And that's definitely a great fragrance. Juan Ochoa, Givenchy Gentleman Only, Casual Chic. Never tried that one. Making Sense Crowd Pleaser, the Sauvage dupe. Who is JCB? Because you keep saying JCB, Joe will get hype. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Paul. Sunday Pacific Chill. Signature Orem while at the hospital for my son. I hope nothing crazy serious, man. Sorry to hear that. Signature was my scent of the night. It's about Acquaggio Profumo and Acquaggio EDP on the wrist. Well, you smell great. Let's see. Hey, Ross, hope you're well. Scent of the day, Guess 1981 Los Angeles. Good stuff. CK1 Summer 2019. Also good stuff. Spectre Ghost. That's in the pile back there. I need to open that one up, too. I want to see how close it actually is to Ani. Man in Black for Slade. Excellent choice. I appreciate you, my man. Yeah, a couple more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and dive into these fragrances. Warm weather today, so I went with Soli d'Italy from Mancera. That's a great fresh fragrance. That's one of their best, in my opinion. Hello, all. So today, Code EDP, my personal favorite version of Armani Code. BIN. What's the acronym for? BIN. I'm drawing a blank. What's the acronym for? Strong with You Oud. I haven't unboxed that yet. I have a decant that Randy sent me. That's in the pile right here. I know what it smells like. That's one of the reasons I went ahead and bought the bottle. They did a restock. I got that in leather finally. So now I have all of them in that line. UPDP is actually my scent of the day. Prefer the Le Parfum, but thought I'd show the EDP some love. Yeah, we're going to find out. I don't know what it smells like. I would assume it's going to smell more like the original than the Le Parfum. Le Parfum doesn't have a whole lot of resemblance to it. Let's see. Better Sensual. That's good. I haven't worn that in a long time. That's a good one, though. Cody, good to see you. Loam EDP. Bahara King. Fragrance Fraternities in the house. We're in Chrome Extreme. Almost Signature. Okay. I wasn't sure. I'm like, JCP, who the hell is he talking about? Duh. Giancarlo Burton. So, Cosmic Pepper. That's in the pile to wear soon. Riv Gosh. I don't know if I've ever smelled that one. I don't think I have. I don't recall ever smelling it. I believe it's supposed to be a fougere, right? Oud Vanille for me today. Should I wear Gucci Guilty, myself, or Lattafa's Camera? Depends on where you're going, what you're doing, and what the temperature's like. Because that's three pretty different options there. One's really heavy and sweet. One's super versatile. Actually, both Guilty and myself are both super versatile. I mean, let's split the difference and go right in the middle with YSL Myself. Why the hell not? I'm going to be filming a review this week on that one, actually. Euphoria Pure Gold and love it. Also own and enjoy from that line. Amber Gold, Liquid Gold. And I have the Intense, and it's okay. I never wear it. I never reach for it. I've had it for a few years. Rocking Most Wanted Parfum, personal top 5. Aramis for Lawrence. Helping the parents again with their computer. On the IT, I'm the IT of the family. I know the feeling. Have a nice live, guys. Don't forget that hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate you, Joel. Thanks for stopping by, my man. Smelled 19 degree on Saturday. Dude, it is sick. I love it. It's very unique for what it is. That's why I like it so much. It stayed in the pile. I picked all the other ones up, but it's still right here. It's in the pile of when I'm in the mood to shuffle through what I want to wear. Like everything I've been wanting to wear aside from this is one of those random picks of the that I have from time to time. Kind of picking through the stuff that I piled up together right there. It's good stuff though. Also smelled Ferragamo Bright Leather, and I was very pleased. Yeah, that's underappreciated, man. It's a very soft citrusy leather. Vibrant Leather Oud by Zara's Scent of the Day. Born Aroma Intense. Okay, I got you. BR Intense. Okay, my bad. What's going on, Kyla? Good to see you. Musky Oak Moss from Dossier. That's a solid Creaventus clone. Have a haul coming in. Vertus Vanilla Oud. Ooh, that's a good one. Adding a beast to the collection. Supreme Loam Extreme. Lattafa's Exclusive Tobacco. Royce Black. Cadlage Infini. Yeah, that was super cheap for fragrance buy. It was like $14, $15. I haven't smelled that one. Infinity Absolute is basically a woody take on Aventus. It's great. It's one of my 3 favorite affordable Aventus type fragrances. It's up there with not only Intense and Club de Nuit's limited edition Parfum. It's like my 3. It's my go-tos. Just to say, I freaking love it. It's such a good release for them. It's one of the best designer releases of the year. I don't care who agrees with me or not. That's how I feel. I think it's like a top 5 designer release this year. So good. That's a great release too, because I don't really know where to categorize them. Do they fall into niche? Do they fall into the designer? They're kind of that weird in between category, you know, because I don't know. I'm going to have to really like just pick, because it's going to go into either one. It's either going to, it fits into either the top 10 designer releases of the year or top 10 niche of the year. I just got to figure out where it's going to fall. Probably designer, I would think. Because it's such a good, unique release. When it's a unique but smells good release, it's probably automatically going to make the year-end review. You know, I just got to figure out which one it falls into more. Wearing Danye for Neil. Classic barbershop fragrance. Have you ever smelled Zeno? Yes. And Beau de Jour? Yeah, I have a decant of Beau de Jour. Very close. Okay, so now I have an idea. I appreciate you clearing that up for me. The Godfather by Alexandria. Myself, it is. Got a bad rep when it came out. And look, I went into it trying to be as open-minded as I could. And I was like, it is kind of weird. But with every spray, I love it more. With every spray, I love that fragrance more. It went from a like to a love. It's one that had to grow on me, but I could see that being the case for a lot of people. It's good fragrance. So going to have to scroll down a little bit. Montrese, what's going on, big dog? Cryptic Figure, good to see you. Mikey, good to see you. Just acknowledging everybody because we're 12 minutes in. We need to go ahead and dive into this. So we don't have to dive too far into this one because we recently talked about this one in a live stream here on the channel. Valentino Uomo, born in Roma, Coral Fantasy. Such a super, super long name, but such a great fragrance. So very bright red apple, full of aromatics and spice. I believe it's cardamom's the spice. This is so, so, so good. Because I've been randomly spraying my decant. My decant's over here in the pile. This is a good one. This is one of the ones Dedrick had sent me a decant of. And after the live stream, that's when Giancarlo hit me up. This was all I was thinking he was sending. The other stuff was very much bonus. This was more than enough to send me a 50 ml of this because super mass appealing type of stuff. More times than not, hell, I'm wearing Sauvage EDP today. I like to go with the more mass appealing stuff most days because it's just easy. Unless I have something going on, I just want something easy. Easy to grab, easy to wear, going to work with whatever the hell I'm wearing. Probably work in just about any climate, whether it's warm, cool, cold, hot, whatever. Maybe not the best option for heat. Don't get me wrong. It's a little on the, spicy, fruity, sweet side. But it starts to get a little bit of a Sauvage feel as it dries, speaking of Sauvage. But that tobacco doesn't overtake it completely. Though I do get a little bit of it. Kind of adds this dark, kind of earthy texture to it without being just a straight up robust, cigar tobacco or pipe tobacco type of smell. This is really, really good stuff, guys. Let's take a quick look at the notes. Pull up Parfumo. Really a big fan of this one. Oh, so I have to switch that screen share. I did the wrong screen. My bad. We went into the tunnel vision, the endless tunnel. Here we go. So I did the wrong side. Oops. Born in Roma, Coral Fantasy. Pretty highly rated. Sweet, synthetic, fruity, spicy, fresh. Yeah, pretty much. Because, it's not all that earthy. It's, like I said, there's more of a dark texture type of added to it, like almost a woody nuance the way the tobacco comes across. Honestly, it's not a super earthy smell, and it doesn't make like this moist tobacco type of aroma, but you see the loads of aromatics here in the heart, and it's a blast of it without making it soapy, that's for sure. But the apple cardamom aromatics, that's the stars of the show here for the life of the fragrance. The vast majority of what you're going to smell is that combination. I don't really like the patchouli tobacco. Like I said, more of an earthy, woodsy type of nuance the way it comes across to me. And it is seeing fresh as the 5th rated accord. Yeah, it is on the fresher side for having such a sweet and spicy tone to it. Man, this is such a great fragrance. I bet this is going to be a compliment machine. I can tell you firsthand, the wife really likes this one, which I was not surprised in the least bit. This is very, very attractive. I haven't wore it out and about yet because, like, when I have a decant, I'm just doing random sprays when I'm lounging around to do some testing to decide if I want to buy a bottle, basically, is what it comes down to. Whereas having the bottle, I'm going to do some full wearings. And probably next time we're going out and about, probably Wednesday. I'm going to be picking my brother up from the airport. He's going to be here from Wednesday to Saturday. Still going to stream Thursday and Friday, but it's going to be like a hard hour, like hard stop at an hour because I don't want to take away too much. I'm still going to stream and chop it up with you guys on Thursday and Friday while he's here. But I digress. I'm probably going to wear this one maybe Wednesday. We're going to have some pretty mild weather, low 70s, high 60s kind of thing. That's prime time for this type of scent profile. Really, really good. I think now that I've spent a little bit of time with some sprays from the decant that Randy sent me, I think this is every bit of an 8 out of 10 kind of fragrance, guys. Like I said, we're just kind of revisiting with this one. That's why I wanted to start with it, because it's not like it's a first impression on it. Whereas these next two, 100% going to be first impression. I've never smelled them. I'm pretty good about not tempting myself when I get stuff in because I want to wait to do genuine live reactions with you guys. Let me get caught up real quick on the chat. So that's where I had left off. 1 million Privé for David. So I only own the L'Homme Ideal line, and the L'Intense is my favorite one. I have all but the newest one, Platine Privé. I have the entire line besides that one. YSL La Nuit de L'Homme. Adolfo, good to see you. 4 or 5 Paradis de Sins fragrance. So I've only tried 2, and I can tell you they're both great, Eden and Bliss. Eden's very much citrus and then fresh green woodsy because of that ivy leaf note. And Bliss is kind of a more woodsy, earthy Tuscan leather. Like you get less of the raspberry and you get more of patchouli and woods. It's kind of a rebalancing. So I kind of like it more than a Tuscan leather profile, or even more than ombre leather, believe it or not, because it's less on the fruity, more on the earthy. It's actually really nice. So I would suggest both of those for sure, Eden and Bliss. But outside of those two, I haven't tried any others yet. I will at some point. So today, intense red tobacco. I still need to get a bottle of that. I will get a bottle at some point. I'm not in a rush. Big fan of vetiver. Cinnade's actually Terre d'Hermès Eau de Toilette. It's in the same vein, but it's got this freshwater accord, and it's kind of a sweet geranium. It's not really all that minty of a geranium, with a slightly earthy, woodsy vetiver. It's pretty straightforward with the note breakdown. You see is pretty much what you're going to smell. Really good stuff. Picking up Valentino fragrance because every time I smell their line in Nordstrom, I spray some on. Yeah, man, I can't imagine this not being like a compliment magnet for people. It's very much in the vein of stuff like this, but fruitier. Very much in a similar vein of this. Smells great. Really does. What's going on, Spencer? CH Le Parfum, The Matrix. There you go. Hope you're well, sir. Send today Signature Royale. Samples of Coral Fantasy about a month back, and it's been on my list to pick up. Coral Fantasy doesn't get its due. My girl can't get enough of it. That's what I'm saying. It's one of those scent profiles that I would imagine most guys that have this, if compliments are important to you, I would say the success rate's probably really good with this. I can't imagine too many people not enjoying this, or too many ladies not really digging this scent profile on a guy. I just can't imagine it being I'm not every girl, just like every woman doesn't like this. Not every woman's going to like that on a guy, but I would think the majority, especially younger demographic, 20s, teenagers and in their 20s, absolutely. Absolutely. Off topic, did you end up picking up the Issey Miyake? Yeah, so actually, who was it sent that to me? Rob, long-time subscriber. I actually met him in 2019. He had 4 bottles and offered me, let me pick what bottle I wanted. I picked his lowest one. Like, this is the one he's worn the most. It's more than half of the bottle. So he actually sent it to me. A subscriber sent it to me. Yeah, so that live stream with Dedrick and Randy, I've been slowly get like 2 of them subscribers sent to me, channel members. Thank you guys. Thank you, Rob. And thank you, John Carlo. So yeah, I got it, man. It's phenomenal. I'm probably going to wear it later in the weekend because we got another cool front supposed to potentially push through in the weekend. and I'm gonna wear it for that. Yeah, it's phenomenal, man. I remember seeing in one of your recent thumbnails. Yeah, we did a live stream that featured it. It had this and some decants that Rob had sent me. Yep. Sure did, Mikey. Later in the day, what about creating a fragrance medley for the day where the dry down, the AM fragrance tune? I'm sure a lot of people do that. Over on Room Intense, she's always encouraged me to wear one of those. I could believe it. Very heavy. It's like men's perfume. Really want some Valentino now. Valentino, underappreciated house, man. Underappreciated. Now, outside of, Womo Intense, that's the biggest hype of all of them over the years. It doesn't really, you don't see much of that anymore. But it was like, their take on Dior Homme Intense. So it got love for a long, like vintage Dior Homme Intense. It got love for a long time. And the original smells like a hazelnut dominant non-iris version of original Dior Homme, not the 2020 woody based one, the iris one. Very much has kind of the waxy feel without the iris and some hazelnuts. Beautiful fragrance. I've had that for years. Great on a date. Great date. I haven't wore that out to dinner in a long time. Maybe I should. And what else? One more Aqua, discontinued, but tomato leaf, soapy iris. Such a unique freshie. May it rest in peace. I have a bottle of that. Beautiful fragrance. Like that, just that whole line, all of them. Yellow Dream's really good. That's one of the decants that Dedrick had sent me. I'll probably end up getting a bottle, but the Core Fantasy's that jam. Yeah, try Valentino Uomo. Try the line. They're all good in their own right. So typically, more of a chemical smell, not natural smelling, sharp, messy, scratchy, screechy, that any of that's a good way to describe when that's what most people mean when they say synthetic. Not a natural smell, chemical smell. And that's not always a bad thing. It depends on the quality of what's being done here. There's cheap smelling synthetic stuff, and then there's good quality smelling synthetic stuff. So that's a broad spectrum, really. Next paycheck. There you go. Imaginary authors, awesome apple leather scent for cool weather. Appreciate you, Monarch. Cheapy video. Yeah, feature these almost ever, but do you usually check those loose bottles? Not all the time, but it caught my eye. It's right here. And look, it dries down into a powdery vanilla. It does not dry down the same as red tobacco. I actually quite appreciate it. It's red. It's a twist on red tobacco, which, as you guys have heard me say a bunch of times, I prefer twists than carbon copies most of the time. So that's a great pickup for $15. Absolute Aventus is 10 out of 10. A Collage Infini was the Woodsy Aventus when you reviewed. So no, that one supposedly smells like Aventus too, but Infini Absolute is the black bottle. The Infini's a clear bottle. The one on Fragrance Bio was like $14. That's the clear bottle. That's the regular one, and it says Aventus Twist. I've never tried it, but the Absolute is like a woody dominant Aventus style. Its quality's pretty good on it too. Let me know what you think about that one when it comes in. I might end up having to scoop it up, man, because the Absolute version is really good. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into you. Eric, what's going on, big dog? I see you. A friend of mine works at Macy's, and she saved me a bottle of Rockstar Stud Noir. Apparently, it's sold out fast. I really like it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I didn't. So Giancarlo sent it to me. Giancarlo Burton here in the chat, one of the channel. This gentleman right here. He sent it to me. This package was sent to me. All three of these fragrances were sent to me by this gentleman. So we're going to go Joop Homme Eau de Parfum, because I really, really, really want to see what's going on here, because I love the Le Parfum. I have this garbage. The original is just a synthetic mess. I just don't like it. I tried to like it. And, oh, God. Sweet. Oh, man. Look, I like sweet, but for everybody that compares this to Mont Blanc Individuel and Creed Original Santal, stop it. Stop trying to shame those fragrances by comparing it to this. This is just, it's not the worst thing I've ever smelled. It's not Cuba Prestige Black or anything like that. But man, this is a rough one for me. This is a rough one. This is one of the most harsh, overly synthetic chemical messes I've ever smelled. I'm going to try to give it another shot. It's been a couple of years since the last time I sprayed this bottle. This is the modern version of original Joop Homme. And some of you are like, oh my God, I love it. I can't believe you're saying that. Unsubscribe. Do what you got to do, pimping. That's just how I feel. You know, if you love it, you love it. Everybody likes different things. I have it here for reference. I might do a comparison between that, the EDP, and the Le Parfum. If that's a video you guys would like to see, let me know. But this is the king of the line for me. I also have the Absolute. I have Joop Homme Ice. And that's the only ones I have. So let's get into this. Let's see what we're working with here. I've looked at the notes in the past. I just don't remember them. Almost a completely full bottle. Joop Homme Eau de Parfum, brown juice. There we go. So we're going directly on skin because we're only spraying 2 of them. So I left my hands nice and bare. I would assume I don't need more than one of those big wide sprays. That's familiar. That's super familiar. Oh, it's powdery sweet. Little touch of like the bubblegummy Invictus kind of thing going on. It's very sweet, powdery, a little floral. Like a candied sweet, bubblegummy type of thing going on here. A little floral. That I'm sure that's what's making it powdery. It smells like what this could be or used to be, because people rave about what this was in the 80s, and I've never smelled that. This is way better than this. This is way better. This is a way better sweet than this. Way better. Like honey, some florals, probably some vanilla. It's a little powdery. Definitely get some honey, though. And there's a light spice. It's kind of warming it up. Kind of like Stronger With You. A little bit. A little bit. But the original. It's not crazy sweet like Intensely. It's not boozy like Absolutely. Obviously no leather or oud or heavy spice like leather and oud flankers. A little bit like Stronger With You, Eau de Toilette's DNA, mixed with some Joop Homme. This is way better than Joop Homme, the original. Yeah, I like this. I like this. This is good. Let's check out the notes. Whoops. See if it comes up. It sure did. There we go. 2021 release, almost an 8 out of 10 on almost 500 ratings. So it's highly rated by a lot of people. Sweet, spicy, oriental, gourmand, synthetic. I agree with all of that. It's definitely not near as synthetic as this, the original. Cinnamon, hazelnut, bergamot. So there's my spice. Cardamom, more spice. Heliotrope, and orange blossom. So there's some florals. Fir needle. I don't really get anything green. Vanilla, tonka bean absolute. So there's plenty of vanilla here. Sandalwood, cashmeran, moss, and vetiver. I would have thought there was honey in here. It smells like honey. What can I attribute this honey smell to? Like a combination of notes, I guess. But yeah, quite sweet. Sweet being the first and apparently pretty good performer, which I would assume, according to everybody that's rated this. Sweet, spicy, oriental, gourmand, synthetic. I agree with this breakdown of main accords. Definitely sweet, then spicy. Maybe not so much oriental. I would say more floral, powdery in the as far as what I get on the third accord, then gourmand. But I'm not going to argue with the oriental sentiment here. I could bump that. I would say I would bump oriental and put floral and or powdery right there, and leave gourmand and synthetic at 4 and 5. Just the way it comes across to me on my skin. It's a good one. It's not sickeningly sweet for being as sweet as it is. It's definitely a good one. I like it a lot. This one's another 8 out of 10, this opening anyways. I mean, we'll revisit at the end of the stream as they start to settle down a little bit more. But, I mean, just out of curiosity, let's compare it. Compare the notes here. Note breakdown's not all that different. pretty similar. There's more citrus here, but pretty similar. Yeah, see this comparison here to the original Joop Homme? Y'all stop doing that. This is a great fragrance. Original Santal is a great fragrance. It does not get its due. That is a great fragrance. That's one of my favorite creeds. It is so good. Underappreciated stuff. But yeah, No Breakdown is pretty similar. This might be, and those of you that have tried this and are old enough to have spent time with old versions of Joop Homme, is this what it used to be? Because then I could see why you guys would say it was great. Because this is great. That's why I give it 8 out of 10. That's great in my rating scale. 8 and 8.5 out of 10 is great. Yeah. If this used to be this, I get it now. But I would need somebody to confirm that's tried vintage, old style Joop Homme and has also had experience with this, which I would say the likelihood of at least one person out of 110, 120 people, one of you probably has that's watching this stream right now, I would think. That cinnamon's kicking in a little bit more. This is a good sweet fragrance. People that like sweet fragrances would definitely enjoy this one. I think it's a good one. Let's catch up on the chat, shall we? I would pick the EDP. I mean, that's why I wore it today. I like the spiciness more. It smells like the EDT. It's that, citrus heavy metallic shower gel, but this is more peppery. This is spicier. Performs just as well. What has been your most natural smelling Mancera Montal? Would you say is the highest quality? They're all kind of what and what. None of them come across as, a load of naturals. That's not the highest quality of niche. It's very entry level niche, like how it's been dubbed. That I totally agree with. Very entry level, mid level for some of them because of the compositions. Because you can get some stuff that's challenging from them. They all perform pretty well. Most of them have some complexity. That's usually the case. Nothing that I would put in that upper echelon that just has a bunch of natural smells to it. They're all pretty synthetic for the most part, but I would say like a higher level is synthetic. Like I was talking about the different, tiers to that and how it's a big bubble of what synthetic can be and can mean in fragrance. I want to say I've smelled it one time with Justin, but I don't remember it because it was on a test strip. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what some of these people put in the chat. It's unreal. Unfreaking real. So I'll just do it from here, I guess. Ban user and delete their comments. So it's funny. The trolls are starting to make more of an effort to come in here. I mean, you get your couple seconds while I just ban you because it's in the moment. It's better on StreamYard. It's right there for me to do it versus having to scroll through and find you on YouTube. It accomplishes the same goal. So thank you all for being here, you weird people. And I don't mean those of you that normally come here to watch. I'm talking about the weird people, the trolls and such, the ones that just have this weird obsession with me. Those people. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing a little bit of monetized watch time with me. You bunch of geniuses. Mugler, Pure Havana and Pure Malt still have one bottle of Pure Havana almost full. And see, I like Pure Havana, but it never moved me to the point of where I needed to have a bottle of it. I respect it though. I totally get why people love it. No, yeah, we just got into it. I'm getting caught up. No, ombre lasts and projects a long time on clothing. See, I don't like to spray clothing. I like to spray on skin because it develops a certain way. I don't really like spraying oils on my clothes. I'd rather do it on skin, let it mix with my natural oils. OG Joop Homme is one of the worst. Well, there we go. There's the first opinion. Ugh, that unlocks a new level of awful, I bet. Might make one or the other better, though. CHMN Privé, good stuff. I haven't worn that one in a long time. Joop Le Parfum is fire. Joop Ice is actually quite good and somewhat unique. I agree. I would say Joop Homme Ice is probably my second favorite of the 5 that I have in the line. Hazelnut's in there too. Yeah, but it doesn't dominantly stand out to me, the hazelnut. Fragrantica lists honey. Well, someone listed then. I do get a honey smell. It does. Maybe it's that that thick, sweet texture. But I don't know. It just smells like honey to me. Killed the whole bottle, which is rare for me. Last time I smelled Joop Homme was in 1999. So if I ever get my nose on the EDP, I will let you know. I appreciate that. Thank you, Paul. Joop Homme EDP is still different than the first batches of Joop Homme. Okay. That's fair. I appreciate you weighing in and letting me know. I mean, compared to what Joop Homme is now, this is way better. Way better. Still got that oil sheen on my hand, too. It's good stuff. If you like sweet fragrances, it's in line with most of the mass appealing designer sweet fragrance releases. It doesn't come across as unique in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, it kind of falls in kind of parallel to the Wanted line, some of those flankers, as well as more so Stronger With You, I think, but kind of rides a similar path to those. Father used to have it back in the late 80s to early 90s. I loved it, but smelled it recently, nowhere near the original DNA. And see, that's what I hear. I've heard it's wildly different from what it used to be. Because what it is now is just, I just have it to talk about how I don't like it, basically, from time to time. It's just for reference. It depends, because there's some pretty smooth Montals that I have in my collection, too. It depends. Love Pierre Montal's work, though. I wonder if this is redundant, Stronger With You. That's a prize scent in my house. I'll probably buy another bottle of the EDT before buying. Well, I mean, and this is, I believe this is discontinued. I've been having my eye out for it for a while. If so, yeah, just you're better off. You get more spice out of Stronger With You. This is definitely sweeter than it is spicy, though the spice is setting in much more. I would say something like a Stronger With You is definitely spicier than this, but similar, I think, anyways. Comes across that way to me. I bet. Bought my first bottle in 92 when I was stationed in Germany. I love Joop Homme and was super excited when the parfum released, and I immediately purchased a bottle. What's the deal with Blue Electric? What deal do you mean with Blue Electric? Because as far as I know, it's just available over in Europe. Yeah, it's in that range. It's sweet like that. I think it's a little better than 1 million EDT, though. They won't, Kyler. They won't. A few months, then went away. Gin Tonic or Elysium Eau Intense? Ooh, that's tough. That's tough because I really think those were both really good releases personally. But if I had to lean to one, I would say Gin Tonic slightly. It's a bit more vibrant, bright, and effervescent. It's got a crispness to it, whereas Elysium Eau Intense is not for everyone, which is what I love the most about it, because it's not wildly different from the other two, but you can tell they were going a different path with it. The rhubarb comes out way more, which I really liked about it. But I mean, I'd have to give the nod to Gin Tonic just because it's just such a vibrant scent, but just slightly. If I had to pick one. Joop Homme Ice might be people's favorites, judging by the positive comments in the chat. It's one of the most underrated scents. It had its share of hype, though. Oh, I know you were, Kyler. Look, Joop Homme Le Parfum is a beast. This stuff's a monster. But you got to like Iris. It starts off kind of like a earthy violet smell with a kind of gourmand sweetness, like praline, I think is the note. Like almost a dessert-like sweetness. And then it transitions into a soft powdery iris with a soft vanilla. Like it's two different types of floral and sweet. It's like two-staged. It transitions greatly from one type of sweet floral to a different type of sweet floral. It's kind of funny the way it does that. No, a lot of plum and stuff like that. It's a bit different. Lacoste L'Homme is more about orange and rhubarb and citruses and stuff like that. Ice is the vibe of Lacoste Homme, in my opinion. The vibe, yeah. Scent profile is not the same, though. Pralino Rosa Extreme. Finally bought Klein No Limits, and I'm surprised how good it is. I've read constant hate on it, but I don't get them. Maybe for young people, it might get weird, but otherwise, it's a banger. All right, so I got to jump ahead. So I actually did a live stream talking about it. It opens up loads of orange blossom, dries down into vanilla woodsy fragrance. It's really nice, but it doesn't make me want it. especially not at the price point. I think it's a pretty good fragrance. I just don't think it's something I have to have. I'm glad I bought a decant first so I could experience. I actually did a live stream. It's that and Intense Red Tobacco. That's the two fragrances we sampled in that live stream. I don't know. I don't just buy every new bottles as I get asked about this stuff all the time. Like, what do you think about new formulas of Hawas? I got a ton of my Hawas. Why would I buy another bottle? What do you think about new versions of Dior Homme Intense or the new version of Dior Homme Parfum? What's the performance like compared? Like, I get questions like this all the time. Like, I don't just buy just different bottles as they come out if I have a bunch of these bottles. So nothing against you. I'm glad you bring this up so I can address it because I've been meaning to address it live. I don't just buy all these things, guys. Like, oh, like that's why I made the joke of the batch code with this in the shorts video for the scent of the day earlier. For those of you that saw it, it's like somebody's gonna want to know the batch code because, oh, bro, mine don't last like that anymore. So I showed it's 9J01 because I don't care. Because whatever, I just buy it and spray accordingly. However it performs on me, it performs on me, and I adjust accordingly because it's a tool, it's a function for me, and I wear it according to my situation. And today was just a laid back, casual day where I was doing a lot of things electronically today, so I just wore whatever. So point being, I don't care about performance. Like, it's just how it's going to happen is how it's going to happen. So when it comes to checking out new batches to see, that's just wasting money for me. Because it's like, why buy every year a new bottle of this same fragrance and do that across, let's say, 100 different fragrances that I get asked about that all the different times? That's just way overkill. Like, I get it. There's a ton of wasted money behind me. I understand the irony of me saying waste of money. But I also review these things on a regular basis and monetize this content. So it's not really a waste of money. I monetize my passion is how I like to say it. And that's one of those deals where I'll never have an answer for questions like this, because unless I run through the bottle, which takes forever for me to run through a bottle, even a small bottle, forever, because I've always had a pretty sizable collection. It's just huge now. It's really huge now, but I've had a large collection of fragrances for years and years and years. So it's one of those deals where I'll never have an answer to a question like this because I just don't rebuy that often. Like red tobacco, I'll never go through the 4 ounces I have. I'll never know what future bottles beyond what I have perform like because I'll never buy another bottle. You know what I mean? So wanted to answer your question, but also wanted to address what your question means on a bigger scale. So I appreciate you asking it because it gave me a prime opportunity to address something like that. And I understand not everybody's going to hear it. I get it. Depends on the replay value on how many people watch 43 minutes in to hear it, So where was I? Have not tried that one yet. Clinch, I don't know. We'll see. We're playing decent right now, though. Getting Taysom Hill involved more. Definitely a good move. I haven't tried it yet. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, please don't take it as anything other than you affording me the opportunity to address something like that. I wish I had an answer for you, but the reason I'll never have an answer for a question like that, I wanted to give the reason why. Because this is already a large expenditure month to month as it is. And I look at that as beyond frivolous. Like, what I do already is frivolous, but that's beyond frivolous because, like, I don't even need it for my own personal use, let alone just to answer a question for, let's say, 100 people. You know what I mean? Whereas you could always just give it a sample if you're curious, because what I have is monstrous, but my bottle is also like 4 or 5 years old, but it's an absolute monster. But with that said, let's say I get 16, 17 hours of longevity out of mine. If you were to get 9 hours out of a new bottle, 9 hours is nothing to shake a stick at. You know what I mean? So you got to keep that in mind. But this is where sampling comes in. So unfortunately, I'll never be able to answer questions like that. So I appreciate you asking that, actually. I appreciate that. Have a good one, Nicholas. Compared to Blue Snow Parfums of Monster, last 10 hours, you get 5 from Sauvage Max. And see, my bottle lasts as long as you leave it on your skin, basically. What's going on, Josh? Blue Moon Ginger Dash, gorgeous blue fragrance. If YSL La Nuit EDT was made today. Okay. Or you could just buy a sample and try it. You could do that too, instead of me having to buy countless bottles. Because we do giveaways. We actually have a membership, plus I do my random giveaways throughout the month on top of that. Feel free to check out those giveaways. Giants going to get the number 1 pick. That's a strong possibility. Those who can buy the one EDP, I know it's a date night scent, but no, you wear whatever you want when you want. Like the wanted fragrances, the most wanted, I wear that during the day. I just wear that casually during the day when it's cool outside. Perfume Addictos, good to see you, my man. Haven't worn Joop in years. Yeah, like the original, I just don't like it, man. I just don't like it. Yes, it's been a long time since I've smelled it, but it's a very classy fragrance. It's not oody like the name would make you think. It's more of a dry wood. Fougere meets dry wood. Oud. It's really good. It's really, really good. Shopping New Vanilla smelled Keali's Vanilla 28 today. Smells like Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Just going to get Prada Luna Rosa Ocean EDP. That's a really good one, Nick. Smoky vanilla. In its most simplistic way to describe it, smoky vanilla. It is a pretty good release. So, with that said, the biggest surprise of the package was Euphoria Pure Gold for Men. It's a tester. Does not have a cap. But do I not like having a cap? Of course I don't. It drives me nuts, pet peeve. But I just appreciate the opportunity to check it out. It is what it is kind of thing. But yeah, it drives me nuts not having the cap. I might have to go on eBay and see if I can hunt one down. It might not match. Ooh. That is Oud Rose. Whew. That is strong. My God. Wow. Interrupted my sentence. That does not smell like no Calvin Klein fragrance. Damn. Damn. A Calvin Klein fragrance. It blows the intense out the water that I have. That's got a synthetic oud in it, but they don't smell like this. There's a sweet pungence to the way this oud comes across. Thick, jammy type of rose and patchouli. Smells like a leafy, creamy patchouli. I just caught my eye. You can send me a cap. You have some. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, because that drives me nuts. But man, because I've never looked into this. This was a total surprise. I had no idea Giancarlo was sending either of these. So super excited when I saw that box. I was like, holy shit, he sent me that. But when I saw this, I was like, okay. Because I immediately think to the Intense that I never wear. And I was like, that's just an okay fragrance. Maybe this would be along the same lines. No. Anybody that likes Oud Rose? Here you go. It's got this sweet yet airy feel, but it's super powerful in the opening. It's really, really strong at the top. Doesn't come across as all that spicy. Smells like there's some other type of floral going on here besides rose. Like a little bit of a white floral feel. Like it's actually getting a bit more elegant, believe it or not, for having this synthetic oud. I'm super curious. Super curious of this note breakdown. Let's see what it is. Let's see. 2017 release. Only 11 ratings, but they're highly rated. Woody floral. Yeah. Sweet oriental spicy. Cardamom, cedar leaf, saffron. It doesn't come across super spicy. If anything, it's more ambery from the saffron. Juniper, rose absolute, and vanilla. Musk, oud, patchouli, sandalwood. I would have guessed there's some kind of white floral here. It's very elegant fragrance. Definitely woodsy dominant. A little creamy. Not overly sweet, but it's definitely sweet. This is actually quite wearable. I think because it's Calvin Klein, that's why it's such a wearable scent, because they're not going to make anything doesn't appeal somewhat to the masses, even with Oud Rose. You know, it's not going to be some crazy challenging Oud Rose, not a Calvin Klein fragrance. Now, one of two things, and I'm pretty sure it's the latter. Either this stuff gets really weak within 2 minutes, or I'm going nose blind really fast, rapidly. And that's what it really is. But some people are like, bro, I mean, 2 minutes in, I can barely smell it anymore. This stuff's crap. This is trash. This is garbage. No, boo-boo. That's the kind of stuff people go, man, bro, 5 minutes, it was gone. No, you just couldn't smell it after 5 minutes. Because I'm experiencing that right now. I can still smell it, but the strength has just plummeted from what it was literally 20 seconds ago. So that tells me there's loads of aggressive synthetics here that's really attacking my olfactory system here. It's really wearing my nose down. But it smells good for as long as I can smell it. Oh, yeah, because it's making this weak, too. My nose is wearing out because I know this is strong. So this is an olfactory fatiguer. This fatigues the nose pretty quickly. Yeah, it's wearing me out. And this is coming from a guy that's been wearing a strong batch of Sauvage Eau de Parfum for several hours around his neck. Man, I hate that I'm wearing out. Happens, though. Olfactive perception. It's a real thing. My ability to perceive it is becoming less and less. So this is what's wearing, out of the three, this is what's wearing my nose out. Well, I didn't even really spray Coral Fantasy, but it smells great, but it's wearing my nose out. I think it's like a 7 out of 10, though. It's very good. The initial blast was like 9 out of 10. Like, ooh, okay, we're working with something here. It's settling quickly into a smoother, creamier Oud Rose. It's not all that challenging. It's actually quite pleasant. I can still smell it. I just have to get close to smell it because my nose is wearing out fast. But I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10 for this one. I need to stop sniffing. I need to give my nose a break here because I am wearing out. It's unfortunate. Great job last night. I really enjoyed the stream. Talking about Wanza 2 streams. That was a good time. Extremely late to the live. So that came in today. I haven't opened it yet, obviously. There would be content for it. There will be content for it when that happens. But don't tell me nothing because I got my bottle too. That's the fragrance I'm most excited about in that package. Let's see. Just messing with you. Have a good rest of your day. I appreciate you, Ahmed. Thank you, my man. USC quarterbacks have a bad track record, so you might be right. I was just looking for Amber Gold today. I've heard that's the one that I'm familiar with. That's like the hype beast of the bunch for the line. Oh, okay. So yeah, because of the plum in the woods and everything, definitely in the same vein. But Lacoste Pour Homme smells more like Boss Bottled to me, like Boss number 6, just a bit denser. Yeah, there's the comment for the cap. I mean, I'm not going to turn you down there on the cap. Yeah, if you can spare one, I'd love the cap. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's a thing now. Tons of guys, like millions, I think, at this point, of guys paint their nails. It's kind of wild. He's not going to fit in any teams. I bet he felt better when he got into his Ferrari after the game. Valid point, sir. Valid point, sir. Off to eat later on. Have a great night, Neil. Good to see you. We're just hanging out for a few more minutes. I would say we'll revisit these scents, but I don't know how good my nose is going to be. I get the crying, but jumping into the stand with your mom, holding you on the rail while you cry on her shoulder is not what you want to see from the leader of your team. Indeed, that was a bad look. That was definitely a bad look. Is it bright like the juniper in Terre d'Hermes au Givray? Love how potent the fresh juniper comes out in au Givray, which is amazing, by the way. Are you asking about that with this, or are you talking to somebody else? Because this, no. The juniper here, it doesn't smell specifically like juniper to me. Though there is a slight juiciness to it that could be what's doing it. That's the only note that I see that could be the culprit for that. But it doesn't distinctively have a juniper smell to me. Not really. Not a gin juniper berry smell. Not gin. Not bright and aromatic. But there's a slight juiciness that I would think, if there's anything to attribute that to, it would be that note. Always nice to catch a live. Do you have any? No. So I do have. Which one did I pick out? Starts with an A. Arsenico, however you say it. I did pick that one out recently. It's supposed to be coming to me in a package for a collaboration. I was afforded the opportunity to pick through some from the brand. Actually, it's funny that you say that, and that's the one that I picked out. It's kind of like in the realm of an Aventus, and Mind Games Blockade. Speaking of in the realm of Aventus, that's going to be in the same package. That was the two I picked out. I picked out one from Mind Games and one from Vicanto. Arsenico, however you pronounce it. But I have one coming. I've never tried anything from the brand. I'm actually quite excited. Those, I did look at the note breakdowns because it was like, I want to choose wisely here. Something I know I'm going to enjoy. Just joined the one EDP I know. Oh, we already read this one. You're all good. What's going on, Randy? Wearing Aurum. Love the dry down, which I just got into. It's like hazelnut powder with honey. My daughter thinks it smells like hot chocolate. Great hat last. Yeah, I did that just for one. It's actually quite big on me. It's like a 7 1/4. That's the 2012 draft day hats when New Era got the license back for the NFL. That's when Reebok lost the license and Nike got the apparel and New Era got the hats. It's 2011 or 2012. I think it was 2012, if I remember correctly. And at the end of the season, they were all clearance at Champs, and they were $5 a hat. So all the stuff that was in the range of 7 to 7 1/4, I bought every team except the Falcons. I couldn't make myself. Not every team they had available except the Falcons. I passed on the Falcons hats. No, I can't do it. I got a Steelers hat for that style. I got all 4 of the Saints ones from that year, but I bought those at launch. I got the Steelers, the Eagles, the Packers. That's the one Cowboys hat that I have that I trolled Dedrick with. I think it's just those plus the four variations of the Saints hat they did that year. Okay, yeah. Terrible hat. Well, that's your division. The Boz has arrived. Blue Noir by Narciso Rodriguez. So which one, though? The Eau de Toilette Extreme, the EDP, the Parfum. The only two that I have is the Parfum, which is magnifique when it comes to designer iris. And then the EDT Extreme, which is when it comes to fresh vetiver. So I'm sure the other two are really good too. Hermes EDT smells so outdated to me. That's fair. Fusion Dissay Extreme again. You seem to like that one a lot, Boz. I see you mentioned that one quite a bit. Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. No, I knew what you meant. Yeah, I knew what you meant. We left live last night. They were picking the worst frag of the year. Niche indie designer Spice Bomb Infrared was on that. I was like, you're lying. Wait, they were picking the worst frag of the year and they picked my favorite designer release of the year? That's funny. It's a taste thing. Not everybody's going to agree with me, but that's my favorite. Nothing else in the designer realm has come out this year that I like more than Spice Bomb Infrared Eau de Parfum. I love that release. It is my favorite release as far as designers. Is it my number one overall release of the year? I don't know. I'm going to reassess that when we get into December, when I start creating this end of the year content, my annual end of the year content, best of the year stuff. But it's definitely my favorite. If I was ranking, it's my number one designer release of the year. But again, not everybody's going to feel exactly the same. It's all good. Dude's talking about fragrance, calling you out for it. That's a good point. That's a good point. Not the most masculine of hobbies here, gentlemen. Looking forward to your review on it. Not for me to say. Not for me to say. Eye out for Milestone dupes. Yeah, I've seen a lot of talk about them. I know they have kind of the Tom Ford looking bottles. So scrolling down. So we'll be shutting it down here in just a sec. You've had that for a very long time, that weird looking Bugs Bunny. You've had that as long as I've seen your profile. So, hi from Brazil. Yeah, it sure was. It's way too, it was too big. Like I'm 7'1/8". That was a 7 1/4. It was a size too big. And it's a big 7 1/4 too. Like it's better for me to wear it backwards. My ears have no issue being tucked in that. But I was doing that just for Juan, because it was his annual award show. He asked me to co-host. Like he initially asked me to co-host the whole thing with him. And I couldn't commit to doing that long of a stream. You guys know I don't like streams super long. So he came up with these formats, and I would do the pre-show with him and all that. So thank you, Juan, if you see this, which I already thanked him. But I appreciate him asking me to do that. That was very, very nice of him. It was good to do. And so that's why I wanted to wear the One Eagles hat I have. So let me wear that for Juan. Hi from Brazil. Hello, Charlie. How are you? Ross Moore. So that's one I have not tried. Rendezvous à Milan. I've never even looked into that one. I'm not familiar at all. Oh, it's your favorite release too. I wasn't sure which one was your favorite release of the year. I wasn't sure which one for you. Yeah, Spice Bomb doesn't miss. I agree with that statement completely. I've never, even Night Vision EDT, I still stand behind that. Like it got unfairly crapped on. I could see what people meant, but I liked it. I still like it. Juan was dressed up like Spice Bomb infrared bottle. His Eagles hat was all red too. And so far, it's the only one I was able to try. I like the whole line. One of my favorite lines. Bond number 9, New York Oud. So I'll have to sample it. I'm sure that's better though, because it probably. Yeah, my nose is wearing out. I gotta dig for it here, but I still get it. I think so. You should see the full pic. It's hilarious. I can only imagine. I'd like to try that out, but I try it first, and here they're not that good at getting Victor and Rolf. That's unfortunate. Definitely get that Spice Bomb Extreme and the new. I'm assuming the next part is infrared eau de parfum. Yeah, all of them are good though, man. You really can't go wrong with any of them. New infrared, yeah, they're all good, dude. Happy to catch the live stream wearing Amir Al Oud Intense. Never tried that one. I mean, geez, what's wrong with me today? I would love to try that, but hey, man, we all have typos. It's all good, Boz. It's all good, Boz. And on that note, we just hit a little over an hour. We covered everything. Unfortunately, my nose is wearing out. I would say the best of the three is definitely Born in Roma, Coral Fantasy. I mean, guys, if you can get your nose on this, I mean, it's almost a full bottle he sent me. I don't know who can see it, but the levels right there. There you go. You can see it moving at the third set of studs. If that's the top, there's 2, there's 3. It's at that third line in a 50 ml. That's plenty. Thank you, Giancarlo. Seriously, this is all I thought he was sending. This was more than enough too. So good. This is my style. This is right up my alley right here. This is great. Such a good fragrance. And this was actually very, very pleasant surprise here. Not necessarily surprise, but I got what I expected out of the scent profile. It's very sweet. Smells like it's going to be really strong and long lasting. It smells like a way better version of this. The EDP smells like tenfold this scent profile done right. It's not screechy synthetic and just messy smelling like that is. So big fan of this one. And then this smells great. It killed my nose. It's unfortunate. The other two are loaded with synthetics. They didn't kill my nose. This killed my nose. Sure did. Smells great though. I would put this in the upper echelon when it comes to designer doing oud rose. This is definitely one of the better ones that I've smelled. I mean, overall grand scheme of oud roses that I have, no, it comes up short. When we're talking niche here, I mean, I got way, way, way better oud rose combos than it. Way better. A lot of them too. But as far as designers that try to do it, this is up there. This doesn't supersede Mysterious Night, though. Dolce & Gabbana, the one Mysterious Night, I think is an unsung hero of designer level oud rose. That's phenomenal. This doesn't quite do what that does, but it gets up there. I would say this is like top 5 oud rose for designers that I have. Not saying of all what's out there, just of what I have and what I've tried. So good stuff. So thank you again, Giancarlo. Super crazy, ridiculously generous of you to send these my way. For those of you that did not see the vlog video from my trip to Edinburgh, Scotland, where I went to see the Fragrance Apprentice and Chris from Fragmental, definitely check that video out from this morning. And if you haven't seen, George Zaharoff paid for this video, or did he, on the Fragrance Apprentice channel, I encourage you to check that out too. That was the video that was the purpose of the vlog and everything. But definitely check out the vlog today if you haven't yet. Tomorrow, not sure exactly. There's a couple videos that I want to do tonight, so I'm going to be very busy the rest of the evening. I'm just not sure which one I'm going to put out for tomorrow, but I got a lot of content. I'm going to be up late tonight. I want to get ahead of the game with content, so I have less content that I'm working on while my brother's in town. But I appreciate you guys. Make sure to hit thumbs up on the way out. Catch you guys on the next one. Y'all have a good day or good evening.